Buddy. My name is Jenny Alberti. This is Tracy Brown, and we are the co-founders of the Women Writing Intentionally Collective. And we've been doing some author interviews yesterday, and today we have a gorgeous guest. Stephanie Moyer is the contributing author to Betrayed, which is the first book in our series, in the Wounded Women series. So we're going to talk a little bit to Stephanie today, find out, who she is, why she felt called to contribute, and dig in a little bit into this theme and this concept of being betrayed, but actually turning it into something beautiful, right? So Stephanie, I would love for you just to share a little bit about who you are.
Okay, sure. Well, first, thank you guys so much for having me here and contributing to this book. I'm really excited. First, I like to think myself first as a mother and a Mimi. My family does come first, and I like to think that I help others by, letting them know that really, no matter what is happening to you or has happened to you, you really don't have to stay there in that space, that you do have the power to take back your power and to be in control, to stand in your truth, as the human witch, or however you identify who you are, and without judgment. That we can take all of those not so good moments and we can turn them into a fuel, a desire of transformation to our highest self.
I love that.
And yeah, it's okay. Like sometimes, we don't know and we get stuck into like these societal norms, and it's okay to break outside of those societal norms and to go back into your intuition and to who you truly are and get in touch with it. The power is within all of us to heal. I don't like to think that I'm anything special as a healer. I like to think that, we are all special and we are all healers and we can all do it, within ourselves. So I like to think that I like to remind, others that it is there. All you have to do is just tap into it. So I have been on a mission to stand in my truth and to make sure that my actions align with my intentions. That's kind of like been my theme this year. So, and I also believe like by doing so, it sets the stage for others, and it just collectively helps the others, maybe giving them inspiration by letting them know they're not alone and to not fear it, and they do have, that support.
So beautifully said, Stephanie. And it's so true that oftentimes I think it's just natural that we feel as though that we are kind of a prisoner of the circumstances and events that have happened in our life, and that makes us who we are, and we just go around feeling hurt and hopeless and
powerless.
Yeah.
That's a big one. Powerless has been that's a good word, actually, in that you said that. I feel that on a very deep level. For so long I have felt powerless, and others kind of taking that power away, but you can take it back.
Yeah.
We can always take it back.
So you kind of have explained why you felt called to contributing just within your introduction.
I have a little more though.
But can you go a little bit deeper and just kind of explain, what is it that made you feel called? I know that you were in Lunar Wisdom, right? So you've contributed, and Lunar Wisdom paperback is going to be launching very soon, right?
Yes,
out in the world.
So soon. Yes, excited.
So kind of on the back end of that, you immediately felt like raising your hand and contributing to this book series. So tell me what made you feel called to do that.
Yeah. So, of course, I've always wanted to write. So, I've had a desire for several years to put my life, my stories down on paper, and it's funny. I always said that if I were to do that, it would be more than just one book. Like it would probably be like 12 books. There's a lot.
Yeah.
It's so much.
Yeah.
So it just so happens that as it's working out, this is my second book now. So I'm actually putting, little pieces of my life, my stories into several books. And it's not going to stop here. Like you ladies do know that I'm probably going to sign on to the other two titles, right?
Well,
We do now.
I think the thing is, like what you said, you've actually put that intention out into the universe to put your life into like 12 books, and here the opportunities are coming up for you to do that in ways that perhaps you didn't expect.
Exactly. Yeah, like it never even crossed my mind that it would be with other women, like it would be a collab book. That was never on my radar. I really didn't even like think that of to even doing that. So it's just, yeah, it's amazing. And by doing that, like it gives you that kind of support to know that you're not alone, and it just makes it a little less scary when you have those others to support you and behind you, and that we have the same common goal. So, and of course, the titles and the subtitle just spoke to my soul on such a deep level. And, I knew deep down that everything I have experienced in my life has just been preparing me for these moments right now. And, for me, the title Betrayed, while I have dozens, countless of stories of how, I have sort of been betrayed or the victim, if you will. I too am not perfect. And I have, my share of mistakes, throughout my life. And, I was brought up in a very masculine, dominant household, and women, were pitted against one another, constantly compared to one another. We were always in competition. It was just ingrained in me. That was life. That's just how it is. And women were jealous and always out for what you have. But as I have grown and had my own personal experiences, I quickly, found out that that just was not the case. And I realized, how I too was contributing to those stereotypes. And it just didn't sit right with me. I've done things that I wasn't proud of, and certainly doesn't align to who I am today. I've definitely grown away from that. And even in my career was a very masculine dominant industry. In order to shine in that environment and move up, I had to be like that, fit in with the boys, whatever. And so, I want others to know. And the reason why I decided to do this book is that I want others to know that we can break the cycles. The chains that we think confine us to societal norm. No, it doesn't have to be that way. And there are women out there, just like you, that just like us, that have been or are in the same space, and can help. I'm hoping, I can help with all of the other stories, to lift them up and to know that they are not alone, and that it doesn't have to be this way, and that there are, no matter what you are going through, that we all have like, a common purpose, a common goal in life. And, one thing I've noticed is that when women come together for a common purpose, it's a pretty dominant force.
Yeah.
And we emanate this energy out into the world that makes the other side a little uncomfortable.
Yes, it does.
So, the side that wants to bring us down and keep us down, they fear us, period.
Mm-hmm.
Period. And I've come to know that and realize that, and I'm not there anymore. And I'm here to inspire others and to help others, and hopefully, inspire me and help me too as well. So yeah.
Everything you said was exactly the kind of vision that I had when I first came up with the concept for Betrayed, and I was like, this is what we want to cover. And I really just want to go and touch back on what you said about not being perfect, and that you have made mistakes too, because this is the thing. It's not just about us necessarily being the victim or being betrayed. It's that we actually are both. Like, we are all guilty of judging other women or putting, as you're saying, in masculine dominated workplaces or in environments where it is dog eat dog, or it is, you've got to step on other people to climb the corporate ladder, or it's where, as you said, women are pitted against each other. It's all about the competition because there isn't enough for everyone, or that's what they make us believe. And that's not true, because, as you said, when we come together as women for a common purpose, we do emanate this energy, and we are an unstoppable force. And this is exactly what I want everybody who is reading Betrayed or considering writing for Betrayed to feel this collective energy as well. So thank you so much for voicing that for me, because it's everything.
Yeah, it really is. It really is both sides. I think kind of it's almost impossible to not have contributed and been on the other side. It's almost impossible, whether you actually realize that you did it or not. More likely than not, you participated, right? Just kind of speaking to how you said in the male dominated industry, that I was in fitness and I was trying to work my way up to, run my own gyms and be district manager and get a cut of profits. And I had to participate. And if I didn't have a job and I didn't have a chance. So I know, while I've been betrayed many times in different situations by other women, I also participated heavily, because my livelihood was at stake. So I had to, So yeah, it definitely is both sides. And the containers that Tracy and I have been creating are these containers where we are coming together and we are the force trying to change and reverse this societal norm. And I thank you, Stephanie, for, participating again in that.
Yeah, no, you're welcome. And I'm so thankful for the opportunity, and that you have this container for us to be able to do that, because it's kind of like twofold. Not only are we helping the others by throwing our stories out there, but we're also it's a healing process for us as well.
Absolutely.
At least for me, it is.
I know it's definitely 100%. Healing for us too. So, and we did just touch on this a little bit, but what is it that you hope that your chapter is going to do to help the readers?
Yeah, so to let them know that they are not alone, but also to maybe be the catalyst for them to do that change as well. It's one thing to know, I'm not alone, but it's another thing to actually take the steps to change, to heal. So it's not an easy feat to do. It's very difficult to do so, because we fear what others are going to. We get judged whether we do or we don't, right? We're damned either way. So it's very hard to step out of that comfort zone that we find ourselves in to heal, because we're scared of what others are going to think, and are we going to lose those friends, those family members. So hopefully they know that by us taking those transformative steps, that it's okay for them to do so too. And that what they fear just may not be the reality.
I love that, because
And
it's so
go ahead.
true that it's often the fear of the thing that is bigger than actually doing the thing itself. So it's fearing changing our, stepping away from the societal paradigms that have been trapping us that is scarier than actually making the changes.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And, to know that they can reach out, as well, that we're all here. It doesn't just stop with the book. It doesn't just stop with like reading the book. Like we all have, every single one of the authors will have, something for them to like take away from it and to reach out to them to help, maybe join the camaraderie or whatever have you. So I just hope that even if it's just like one person that is able to transform their life and to heal for the better and to stand in their truth, I then good. That's all it will take, is just one, because then they will help others. They may inspire somebody else, and it'll just be a domino effect.
Yeah, because just that one, like who knows what that one goes on and does with it, right? Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
So Stephanie,
So hopefully,
what about personally? What do you hope out of contributing personally? What do you want to come from it?
yeah. So like in a nutshell, really growth. This is, I've been on this journey for several years, right? It never stops. We're constantly,
No.
Once we start the healing journey, it just continues to go on.
Level new devil, right?
Right. So, and I'm also excited for like the experiences that I gained from it, the camaraderie with the other women, the knowledge that I can gain from this, from just the process itself, from doing it. And just to see what's next, what doors is going to open, for me. I had a small taste of the writing process with Lunar Wisdom, and I yearn for it now. And the camaraderie with the other women, it just really made me thirsty for more, to be honest with you. So I used to hide away from scary things, and I find myself now that things that take me out of my comfort zone, I'm yearning for those now. It's scary. Don't get me wrong. I'm still scared. It's a fear, but it's also like lights a fire in me too that I haven't experienced in an extremely long time.
It's like that thrill, right? It's scary. It's like you're on a roller coaster. You're scared, but there's also that feeling of like excitement that comes with it. So when you're like,
yeah, the adrenaline rush.
Go. Who am I going to be at the end of it?
Yeah, it's the adrenaline rush. And no matter how scary it is, I'm doing it anyway.
Yeah.
I fear it, but I'm going to do it anyway. So yeah, I yearn for those things that push me out of my comfort zone now. So yeah, I mean, it's like, it's the healing process for me too. Also, I hope to like let go of the guilt and the shame that I have carried with me, for so long. So yeah. And I hope that one day that, this is just my flow. Like I've said, like, I get a little bit comfortable each and every time I step outside of my comfort zone and do those things. So hopefully the more I do this, then it just becomes my flow. And it's no longer an uncomfortable zone for me.
Yeah.
And it's with ease.
Yeah, it's kind of like you expand the comfort zone just a little bit. Each time you step
Yes.
out, you get to push that wall just a little bit farther each time. And then when you continue to do those things that once was very scary, it's actually in your comfort zone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I relate to that very, very much.
I think we all
Mhm.
and this process of putting ourselves out there and actually allowing ourselves to speak this truth is very vulnerable, but it is also really satisfying. So what I
Yeah.
would, and we've just talked about the excitement a little bit, but I'd love to dive deeper and find out which part of this journey are you most excited to be experiencing this time around?
The whole writing process, to be completely honest with you, like I said, I got a little taste of Lunar Wisdom and I'm loving it. And I want to continue to do more, and to learn from that, how the whole like process goes and the editing and yeah, I just have like such a thirst for that knowledge, right now, and hopefully to like, take myself to like the next level, with my personal growth, with my professional growth, as well. I'm excited to see where this lands, in that scope for me. So a lot of things to look forward to. That's for sure.
Stephanie, had you wanted to write for any period of time leading up to when you joined Lunar Wisdom? Had you?
Always.
Okay.
Yes, that was what she was saying earlier, was that she'd always
Always. Yeah. I used to write.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, was it a fear that had kept you from diving in and writing more, or what kept you from really diving into that whole process before?
Yeah, so it was definitely fear. And I used to, when I was young, I used to write, and but it was, go back to like childhood. Um, it was never good enough. It was silly. You don't really have anything important to say. But what do you have to contribute? What are your experiences? And even in like adulthood, I would get that because I had to like conform to what everybody else wanted me to be and what everybody else's ideas of me should be. So I never did anything that I always like dreamt of doing for myself because I had to make everyone else comfortable and happy. So, and in doing so, sacrifice my happiness. So now, as I get older, as I'm pushing 50, I'm like, screw it. My years are getting like shorter and shorter by the day. I'm no longer conforming to anybody else anymore. And so, I just didn't think that it would just look like this. It's just looking a little differently than what I always thought, but that's okay. That's fine. I love it.
Well, we love having you as part of the Wounded Women series. I adored having you in Lunar Wisdom as well. And I know that we actually talked about Betrayed really early on in the process while we were doing Lunar Wisdom. So this has been something that has been coming in the works for a little while now. So I'm really excited for us to be embarking on this journey together as a little bit of an extension of our Lunar Wisdom journey. And it's also very exciting because we have a couple of our other Lunar Wisdom authors who've come on board for different titles in the series as well. So it's a little bit like we all felt this connection and this need to continue sharing our stories, that it wasn't finished with Lunar Wisdom, that there was more to say and more to be said. And I'm so beyond thrilled to have you here with us for Betrayed. And if you decide to come on board for the other ones too, it's a full body hell yes for me.
Awesome. And I also love how not only like with the Lunar Wisdom Gals, but also the Quiet and Badass, authors and gals, like how we're all coming together and like, creating this container. And I am so excited to really see what this is next year, what next year is going to look like for all of us. And I don't think it's going to stop with these 3 books either.
Yeah,
I don't think so either. Heads up, there's going to be another Luna book as well down the line after the Wounded Women.
You've talked about it.
Yeah. I know.
I'm all for it.
So excited. Well, so for anybody who wants to meet up with you or connect with you online, who resonates with your story, maybe wants to talk a little bit more about that, or who would like to find out about your incredible subscription box service, because I don't know.
Love it.
I don't know if you mentioned that earlier. I can't remember. But Stephanie runs an amazing full moon subscription box service called the Conjuring Moon box. And I highly, highly recommend her subscription boxes. So if anybody would like to find out more about you, where can they find you, Steph?
So my email is stephanie@theconjuringmoonbox.com. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram at The Conjuring Moon. And you can always reach out to me on my personal page too, Stephanie Moyer. My inbox and email is always open.
Love it.
Beautiful.
Well, thank you so much for coming and joining us today, Stephanie.
Thank you for having me.
Always love chatting with you, and I can't wait to see what comes up in your chapter. I can't wait to read it.
Oh, me too. Like, I can't wait to see what comes up. Like, I have an idea. But we'll see. We'll see where it takes me, because like I had an idea what I was going to do with Lunar Wisdom too, but it wasn't exactly what I had pictured, Right, exactly. So we'll see what comes out. I'm excited to find that out myself.
Yeah, me too. My chapter, I think I've started to try and write my betrayed chapter twice. Yeah, it's been different both times, and I'm just waiting to see what actually comes out when the final chapter is written. So we'll see. Whatever needs to be said is what's going to come out.
That's right. That's right. So we'll see.
Amazing. Well, so much, and lots of love.
Well, thank you, ladies.
Catch up again.
All right.
Bye, Stephanie.
Bye.